Hello, and welcome to Starry Storytime, a gentle, soothing space where evening stories and soft whispers guide you into a peaceful night's rest. Tonight, we're offering another relaxing tale designed to help ease your mind and lead you toward a comforting slumber. Before we begin, let's take a moment to prepare our bodies and minds for deep rest. Find a comfortable position, and with each slow inhale and soft exhale, let any worries from the day quietly slip away. It can be challenging to step away from the day's hustle, especially when it's time to sleep. Yet remember, the less we worry about falling asleep, the easier it becomes for our minds to let go of lingering tension. Allow the gentle rhythm of your breath to wash away any remaining concerns, and let tonight's story guide you into serenity. Now, settle in and let the soothing aura of Starry Storytime surround you. May you enjoy this story and drift into a tranquil, restorative night's sleep. Picture an ocean, impossibly blue, stretching toward a horizon where sunlight shatters, casting molten gold upon the water's farthest rim. Listen. Beyond the rhythmic sigh of waves collapsing onto sand, the air carries the thin, sharp cries of gulls. An island emerges from the aqueous expanse. A dense heart of palms and tangled undergrowth rises, fringed entirely by beaches bleached white gold. Here and there, humble clusters of dwellings nestle, so attuned to the landscape they almost vanish. From one such unassuming settlement, a slender trail snakes inland. Here, our narrative takes root. A warm exhalation of wind stirs the palm crowns high above. Your gaze follows, tracing the way light catches on torn fronds, transforming them from burnished gold to deep, shadowed green with every rustle. Sunlight, fragmented, dances across your face. You lift a hand to shield your eyes. A shimmering quality imbues everything. A sense of displacement, as if you've slipped sideways out of time's relentless current. It is only you and the elements, intensely present, saturating each moment. The languid heat imposes its own tempo on the day. Seconds stretch, measured by the drone of unseen insects, the ceaseless ripple of palm leaves, the sun's insistent glimmer against your closed eyelids. This island, you sense, holds itself apart, unlike any shore you've known. Secrets slumber here, awaiting discovery, perhaps by you, perhaps by some other soul adrift on curiosity's tide. The notion resonates, lending an unexpected weight, purpose to your otherwise aimless ramble this humid afternoon. The path meanders onward, deeper into the palm's embrace. Brittle, yellowed fronds shed from the canopy lie in drifts along the trail's edges. Occasionally, one strays into your path, yielding underfoot with the dry, papery crunch of stiffened cardboard. The air hangs heavy, thick with interwoven aromas. You discern the sweet perfume of coconut, the tang of pineapple, underscored by darker notes of decaying wood and damp earth. A persistent saline signature, the tang of salt and seaweed, threads through it all. A constant reminder of the ocean's proximity, its pervasive influence. Here, the vast pull of the sea is an undeniable force. drawing you toward it as if tethered by an invisible thread. Every walk undertaken on this island has culminated inevitably on the shore, gazing out at that shimmering, shifting tapestry of blue and green. At times, the urge has surfaced to abandon the sand, stride directly into the surf, and surrender to the turquoise waves, to swim, spin, and splash, utterly free, unbound. You grasp why old storybooks teem with maritime legends, tales of those who chose the ocean's shifting realm, whether driven by romance, daring, or sheer necessity. The decision to forsake solid ground for a life afloat holds a potent allure. To feel the groan of aged timbers beneath your feet, hear the sharp snap of canvas gulping wind. Continuing, you reach a bend where a palm has grown askew, its trunk barring the way. You reach out, your palm meeting the rough, scaled bark as you step carefully over the crooked wood. A quiet acknowledgement passes through you. You are merely a visitor here, transient among these ancient trees. They have witnessed countless passages, felt the tread of innumerable feet before yours, and will stand long after your presence fades from this place. As you move, a delicate prickling of moisture gathers on your skin. Days bleed into nights of enveloping warmth and humidity, rendering the infrequent breezes a profound relief. One such current now whispers around you, tickling the nape of your neck, bringing the first hint of coolness. For a fleeting instant, your thoughts clear, the dreamy haze momentarily lifting. The edges of the palm fronds sharpen. The greens of the undergrowth blaze with sudden vibrancy. A fly buzzes past, its sound startlingly distinct, joining the resonant electric thrum of insects, orchestrating their symphony within the trees. Beneath this chorus, you become aware of the steady, rhythmic pulse of your own heart. Close your eyes. Focus. Sense the teeming life sheltered here beneath the palm's protective awning, shielded from the sun's fierce eye. Your own heartbeat, the ceaseless insect hum, the rustle of a small creature moving in the distance, the far-off cry of a gull, the faint sound of another human presence somewhere nearby. The breeze falters, dies. The dreamlike trance resettles, the muggy warmth wrapping the trees like a thick blanket, muffling thought and sound once more. You and the elements coexist, vibrant yet subdued. Your feet carry you onward, navigating the gentle undulations of the path. Now and then, a frond disintegrates beneath your shoe, or a patch of loose earth shifts slightly. Your gaze drifts idly, from tangled roots to dense foliage, to a sliver of captured blue sky, to a mound of damp leaves decaying at the base of a trunk. Time dissolves as you move through the whispering palms. Then, the trail confronts a dense thicket of trees, packed so tightly their trunks form an impenetrable screen. You halt, allowing your other senses to probe the unseen. Closing your eyes, you draw a deep breath. The familiar bouquet returns, pineapple and coconut, wet leaves, soil, seaweed. But the brine is sharper here, more insistent. Your senses respond keenly to the salt, and beneath the forest's hum, a new sound asserts itself, the unmistakable crash and retreat of waves upon a sandy shore. The beach, you realize, must be close. Scanning the wall of trees, you spot a V-shaped opening between two palms, just wide enough to pass through. Bracing your hands on the rough bark flanking the gap, you push through the encroaching greenery, parting the overgrown fronds. Beyond the curtain of vegetation, a breathtaking panorama unfolds. A beach, gloriously windswept, unfolds before you. Golden sand stretches limitlessly in both directions. Directly ahead, cerulean depths surrender to white-crested waves that surge and tumble onto the shifting sands, an eternal rhythm of advance and withdrawal. You descend toward the waterline. The ghost of a recent wave lingers. A line of foam, a darker stain on the sand. You trace its edge with your foot, stepping back just as the next wave rushes toward you. As the water nears, you crouch, letting it sluice over your fingers. It's surprisingly warm. Grains of sand cling to your skin as the receding water tugs gently. Standing, you scan the length of the beach. Far in the distance rests a large dark silhouette against the shoreline. Shielding your eyes, you strain to discern its details, but the distance renders it indistinct. Curiosity becomes your compass, pulling you forward. As you walk, the incoming waves lap over your footprints, erasing them almost instantly. To an unseen observer, it might appear you materialized directly from the sea rather than emerging from the palm forest. You fall into step with the ocean's cadence. The air here feels bracing compared to the heavy stillness amongst the trees. A sea breeze ruffles your clothes, evaporating the moisture on your skin, a pleasant coolness spreading. Occasional gusts lift curtains of fine sand, sculpting miniature, transient dunes along the berm, separating forest from shore. Each gust whips the blue water into a frenzy of whitecaps. Even from here, you can see the deeper water churning, restless. Soon, you are close enough to the dark shape to resolve its features. It is unmistakably a large wooden sailing ship of an old design, beached and derelict for what must be a considerable time. It lists heavily to one side, canted at an unnatural angle. Gaping wounds mar its hull. Sections of timber paneling are missing along its flanks. You ponder its journey. Where was it bound when fate cast it upon these lonely shores? Who sailed aboard it? What tempest or misfortune led to its ruin here? Approaching the wreck, its immense scale becomes truly apparent. Standing beside it, you feel dwarfed by the towering hull, much of it encrusted with salt, sand, and barnacles. Its dark, weathered wood presents an imposing silhouette against the vibrant blue sky. You crane your neck, tracing the lines of the masts reaching upward. A portion of the keel is exposed. Reaching out, you touch the wood. The surface is coarse, abrasive, as if years immersed in the brine have fundamentally altered it, transforming it from a vessel crafted on land into something belonging to the deep. Clumps and tangled skeins of desiccated seaweed cling to the wreckage. Thick, frayed ropes dangle limply, stirring occasionally in the breeze. They possess a strange, hardened texture, perhaps waxed or tarred long ago, or perhaps merely petrified by time into curious artifacts a beachcomber might collect. Methodically, you circle the perimeter until you reach a section where the hull is breached. Peering inside, you see into what must have been a storage hold. It's cluttered with wooden crates, sturdy chests, and burlap sacks. You rest a hand on the splintered wood. In that instant, a peculiar sensation flows through you, a distinct summons, an undeniable pull to explore this ruin. It's inexplicable, yet potent, as if the ship itself possesses a magnetic field, and you are susceptible to its draw. The ship somehow has chosen you. With a quick glance back along the empty curve of the beach, you hoist yourself up and clamber into the shadowed belly of the wreck, beginning your exploration. Subdued daylight filters through scattered holes and fissures in the ancient timber. The air inside is still, thick with dust, yet paradoxically drier than the humid air outside. Faint, ghostly scents linger, the earthy aroma of root vegetables, perhaps straw, mingled with a sweet, burnt sugar fragrance reminiscent of stored grains or caramel. Most crates and chests are secured with heavy, rusted iron padlocks. You investigate a few of the sacks, finding them mostly empty, their contents long since pilfered or decayed. You discover only a shriveled lemon, hard as a stone, and a glass bottle sealed tightly with a well-fitted stopper. Navigating the dimly lit labyrinth of storage, you soon encounter a flight of stairs, ascending to an upper deck. A strange certainty settles upon you. You will be safe here. It feels as though the ship itself sanctions your presence. Each wooden step groans under your weight, the sharp sound echoing unnervingly in the profound silence. A fleeting impulse urges quietness, lest you disturb someone, but the rational mind reminds you. This vessel was abandoned long ago. There's only you, the remnants of cargo, the sand, and the sea. Reaching the next level, you find the crew's quarters. Old, musty hammocks hang limply from ceiling hooks, or are slung between support beams. Many are shredded, mere tatters left behind by their occupants after the wreck. There's little else of interest here. You continue upward, toward the next level, this one open to the sky. The sudden brilliance of the sun feels both welcoming and harsh after the ship's dim interior. Your eyes adjust quickly, and you begin to meander across the weathered deck. You find the ship's wheel. The stout wood is aged and cracked, yet standing there, one hand resting upon it, gazing out towards the vast sea, evokes a powerful feeling, as if you were the captain, or perhaps the helmsman. the thought sparks curiosity about the vanished crew. Who were these individuals? What narratives did their lives contain? From where did they hail? And where did they ultimately go? Perhaps these questions will remain forever unanswered. Surprisingly, the masts still stand, impressively tall and straight, fashioned from sturdy tree trunks selected with care, an object of silent admiration. A slight fluttering movement near the base of one mast snags your attention. Curious, you approach. It could be a fragment torn from a hammock or a piece of sacking, but as you draw nearer, you see it's a scrap of black fabric stirring in the breeze. Carefully, you lift aside coils of heavy rope and a couple of fallen metal hooks that partially cover the fabric, keeping a firm hold on the cloth itself, lest a gust snatch it away. Once freed, you use both hands to unfold it. What it reveals steals your breath. There, stark against the black background, stares a white skull and crossbones. As the realization solidifies, pirates. A sudden gust wrenches one side of the flag from your grasp. For a moment, it streams out horizontally, snapping taut in the warm wind, just as it would have flown high atop the mast. The skull seems to grin, animated by the breeze. You picture sighting this flag through a spyglass as the ship bears down upon you. Then, a different image surfaces, sailing under such a banner, this grinning emblem heralding your arrival on distant, unsuspecting shores. The wind subsides. The flag hangs loosely in your grip. You fold it with care and replace it beneath the weight of the ropes and hooks. There's one place you must find now, the captain's quarters. It doesn't take long to locate the door. Pushing it open, you step into what were clearly the most comfortable accommodations aboard. Light streams through the slanted stern windows, illuminating the large wooden desk that dominates the space. A fine patina of dust coats every surface. Tiny, wind-drifted piles of sand accumulate in the corners. The wooden floorboards, though weathered, retain an air of elegance, as do the tarnished light fixtures and the various nautical instruments scattered about. On the desk lies a stack of papers. You leaf through them gently. The pages are brittle, yellowed with age, many already crumbling at the edges. You decipher lists of goods, names of ports, and what appears to be a crew or passenger manifest. Whether these documents belonged to the pirate captain or a predecessor, you cannot know. Turning from the desk, you move to a window seat overlooking the ship's stern and the deep blue expanse beyond. If you were the captain, this is where you would spend your hours, you reflect, gazing at the horizon, lost in dreams of adventures past or those yet to unfold. Leaning against the seat cushions, you feel something solid behind you. Reaching back, you retrieve a long, cylindrical wooden case. Carefully, You unscrew the two halves and withdraw the rolled parchment concealed within. As you unroll it, revealing its contents, a profound sense of understanding washes over you. This is what the ship intended you to find. In your hands lies a meticulously drawn map. Studying it closely, you see it doesn't depict some far-flung, unknown land as you might have expected. It appears to be a map of this very island, and there, marked just inside the tree line, not far from your current position, is a bold, dark X. X marks the spot. For what precisely you aren't certain, but an inner conviction tells you that you are meant to discover it. Your gaze sweeps the room and lands on a long-handled shovel leaning against one wall. An odd implement for a captain's cabin, you think? Or perhaps not. Perhaps this map is the very reason this ship journeyed to this island countless years ago. Perhaps the crew was preparing to venture into the forest, to unearth whatever awaited them, when disaster struck, wrecking their vessel. And somehow, in the ensuing chaos, the map was left behind, along with the shovel. With a final look out the window at the endless sea, you turn, stand, and take hold of the shovel on your way out. Back on the open deck, you pause, struck anew by the faded grandeur of the ship. In its prime, it must have been a spectacular sight, you muse, alive with bustling activity, sailing beneath the watchful, grinning gaze of its black flag. Carrying the map and shovel, you descend the stairs, past the ghostly crew quarters, down further into the ship's shadowed recesses. From the storage hold, you navigate back to the breached section of the hull and carefully climb out. While the feel of sand beneath your shoes is a welcome return to solidity, a distinct tingle traces your spine, a lingering echo of the almost magical sensation of being aboard the pirate ship. Consulting the map, you locate a small dotted line leading into the forest, originating between two distinctively crossed palm trees. You scan the tree line, searching for this feature. It doesn't take long to spot them. Two palms whose trunks intersect, forming an almost perfect X. The sand immediately surrounding the wreck is soft, yielding. Your feet sink, leaving deep impressions as you traverse the small dunes. But soon you reach the firmer ground of the berm, dividing beach from forest, littered with pebbles, sticks, and dried fronds. You follow the tree line to the pair of crossed trunks. Bending slightly, you pass beneath the point where they intersect, feeling as though you're stepping through an unseen portal. A small, deliberate marking on the right-hand trunk catches your eye. Carved into the bark is a miniature circle positioned above an X, a simplified, almost abstract skull and crossbones. You are undoubtedly on the correct path. Now, back within the forest's embrace, you notice the light has shifted. It's considerably dimmer than earlier. Sunset approaches, the shadows lengthening, painting the undergrowth in deeper hues. A soft breeze drifts inland from the beach, carrying a welcome coolness into this part of the palm forest. Ahead, you discern what might be a faint footpath, winding deeper among the trees. It roughly corresponds to the dotted line on your map. You decide to follow it. Dry fronds crackle underfoot. The insects intensify their evening chorus, a pervasive, resonant hum. Further in, the path leads you to a secluded grove, a distinct cluster of palms. On the map, this circle of trees appears to enclose the spot marked with the X. You approach the nearest tree, inspecting the rough texture of its trunk. Just as you suspected, the same small symbol, circle over X, is carved there. You move to the next tree, finding the mark repeated. Systematically, you walk the perimeter of the grove, checking each trunk. With every touch, every time your fingers graze the coarse bark, you feel an increasing connection to this enchanted place, drawn deeper into its dreamlike essence. Perhaps it's that same magnetic pull you felt on the ship, or perhaps simply the knowledge held by the map that guides you toward the grove's center. As soon as you step within the circle of trees, you know you've arrived. There, on the ground before you, lies a large X, meticulously formed from carefully arranged pebbles of diverse colors. The stones glitter faintly in the waning sunlight, filtering down through the palm canopy. X marks the spot. You whisper aloud, the words hushed, feeling the solid weight of the shovel in your hand. You pause, taking a moment to absorb the quiet beauty of the forest, the artistry of this simple sign laid out so long ago. You don't know who left these marks, who charted this map, but you offer a silent thanks for leading you on this unexpected, enthralling adventure. The insect hum seems to swell, focusing your attention on the pebble marker. Lifting the shovel, you position its point in the earth beside the X and begin to dig. Seconds merge into minutes, marked only by the rhythmic thud of the tool biting into the soil. The warm air presses close. You feel moisture gathering on your arms, trickling down your neck. A light breeze sighs through the trees overhead, a reminder of the cooler air awaiting you back on the beach. You'll return there soon enough, but first you must finish what you came here to do. Then, a distinct metallic clang. The shovel strikes something hard, unyielding, jumping slightly in your grasp. You set the tool aside and kneel beside the hole. Using your hands, you brush away the loose soil, uncovering the object. A large wooden chest, bound with heavy iron bands. The familiar scents, coconut and pineapple, damp leaves and seaweed, flood your senses, grounding you firmly in this place, this moment. Exhaling slowly, you lift the heavy lid of the chest. It creaks open, revealing its contents. Gemstones, gold, and silver coins glitter dully, catching the dusty shafts of light that penetrate the canopy. Old papers, yellowed and fragile, some tied with leather thongs, are piled in one corner. Garnet rings and emerald-studded necklaces lie jumbled amongst mundane items like ladies' hat pins, tarnished buttons, and doubloons. And there, resting lightly atop the glittering hoard, is a delicate glass bottle, containing a rolled message. You cannot decipher the script. It faces away from you. As you carefully lift the bottle, something inside shifts, striking the glass with a faint musical jingle. A small piece of jewelry, perhaps, or a single coin. As far as you know, you are the sole possessor of this secret knowledge. This discovery is an intimacy shared only between you and the island. The insects, the stoic palms. These are the only witnesses to your presence here today. You carefully place the message bottle beside the hole and gently close the lid of the treasure chest. Your secret is safe, you murmur to the quiet grove. Then, using the shovel, you refill the hole, replacing the earth. But instead of recreating the simple X with the pebbles, you arrange them into the symbol from the trees, a circle above the cross. Gathering the shovel, the map, and the glass bottle, you make your way out of the palm grove, ducking back under the crossed trunks. You retrace your path along the tree line, down the sandy berm, across the soft beach, returning once more to the silent, waiting pirate ship. Clambering back through the damaged hull, you ascend the creaking stairs to the captain's quarters. There, you leave the map and shovel, returning them to their resting place. Then, you make your way out onto the open deck, arriving just as the sun begins its final descent. The sky along the horizon ignites, a fierce red, bleeding upwards into feathers of deep orange that merge softly with the darkening blue above. You turn the small glass bottle absently between your fingertips, listening to the faint, intermittent jingle of the unknown object within. Someday, you will uncap this bottle and read its hidden message when you feel ready for whatever new adventure it might herald. And someday, perhaps, you will return to the forest, to the buried treasure, when the time feels right. But for now, you remain here, breathing the sunset air aboard the old pirate ship. You listen to the ancient groans of the wooden boards beneath your feet. Imagine the sharp snap of black sails catching the wind, and feel the expansive freedom of a life lived at sea, under skies filled with endless horizons. Sunlight spilled across Barcelona this afternoon, a golden cascade tempered by a soft sea breeze drifting down La Rambla's vibrant promenade. Amidst the cheerful throng enjoying the luminous day, Ilara moved with quiet anticipation. It marked her first complete day breathing Barcelona air, a gaudy pilgrimage charted on her itinerary. A ceramicist from Los Angeles, Ilara had long revered the Catalan master's visionary constructions, his audacious forms a distant echo in her own clay work. She felt a thrill course through her, certain this immersion would infuse her art with fresh currents of inspiration. Reaching the rendezvous point ahead of schedule gifted her moments for sustenance. The tree-canopied boulevard pulsed with vendors, the air thick with tempting aromas. A familiar craving surfaced. Tortilla de patatas, a dish she'd fallen for years ago, working in a Spanish eatery during college. That simple, comforting alchemy of egg and potato beckoned. She found a stall, ordered, and savored the warm, yielding layers. As the last bite melted away, a sign hoisted aloft caught her eye. Her walking tour. Ilara approached, offering her name just as others began to coalesce, their voices a low murmur of shared excitement, particularly for the legendary Sagrada Familia. Their guide, a woman with bright eyes, gestured them into a loose circle, a prelude to the architectural odyssey. She began weaving the narrative tapestry of Antoni Gaudí, born 1852 in Catalonia, drawn to Barcelona at 18 to sculpt space itself. His childhood fascination with nature's intricate geometries, she explained, became the lifelong wellspring of his designs. They would explore 4 key manifestations of his genius today. Gaudí, the guide, continued, navigated a life perceived as a solitary eccentric, yet possessed an unparalleled intuition for spatial dynamics and geometry. Craftsmanship wasn't mere decoration, but the very sinew of his architecture: ceramics, stained glass, wrought iron, carpentry, the shimmering skins of Trencadis mosaics, all integrated with breathtaking ingenuity. His trinity of influences, nature, faith, geometry, propelled him to the forefront of modernism, Catalan modernism, though his relentless innovation ultimately defied any single stylistic cage. Obsessed, driven, he worked tirelessly until his final days, achieving posthumous global acclaim. 7 of his creations now stood as World Heritage Sites, magnets for pilgrims of art and architecture. A brief pause for questions, a gentle reshuffling, and the small group ambled onward down the wide pedestrian thoroughfare. The breeze whispered through plane trees overhead. Suddenly, a new scent pierced the air, cinnamon and sugar, warm and intoxicating, emanating from a churro cart. The allure proved irresistible. Ilara swiftly acquired a paper cone of the ridged fried dough, a sweet companion for their stroll. Closing her eyes, she took a bite. Warm crunch yielding to soft interior, a dusting of sugar dissolving on her tongue. A contented smile bloomed. Their initial destination materialized: Palau Güell, constructed between 1885 and 1890. This mansion, Gaudí's first major commission from his enduring patron, Eusebi Güell, rose in a coveted district on Barcelona's first paved street, complete with modern drainage. Its dual purpose: a home for Güell's considerable family, and a stage for glittering high society gatherings. Guests, the guide elaborated, once arrived via horse-drawn carriage, passing through imposing iron gates. While steeds were stabled below, visitors ascended to the receiving room, the heart of the house being a lavish central hall designed for entertainment. Here, perforations in the ceiling allowed lanterns to mimic a star-strewn firmament, an early spark of Gaudí's inventive brilliance. Though the exterior presented a comparatively restrained face, it masterfully blended stone, iron, and ceramics, evoking Florentine Renaissance palaces. Symbolic motifs adorned the entrance, hinting at Catalan strength and cultural resurgence. Palau Güell, while early Gaudí, already showcased his ingenious spatial manipulation, the seamless marriage of aesthetics and function, and the nascent integration of nature's organic lexicon. Themes he would endlessly refine. Moving away from the Palau, Ilara felt the afternoon sun warm on her skin, the solid pavement beneath her feet, grounding her in this long dreamed of reality. Gratitude swelled within her to be here, tracing the steps of an artistic titan. Next, Casa Batlló materialized, a project consuming Gaudí from 1904 to 1906. Given complete artistic freedom by the owner, Senor Batlló, Gaudí didn't just renovate. He utterly transformed the building, sculpting its facade and breathing fantastical life into its interiors. Whispers among locals christened it Casa dels Ossos, House of Bones, for its structure echoed the organic articulation of a skeleton. Gaudí's nature-inspired motifs grew ever more sophisticated. Tree trunks, osseous structures. He translated the language of the wild into functional, architectural poetry. Straight lines dissolved in Casa Batlló, curves reigned supreme. Much of the facade shimmered, a vibrant mosaic tapestry woven from fractured ceramic tiles, trentidis. The roof undulated, a rainbow-scaled dragon's spine, poised as if ready to launch into flight, pure whimsy, grounded in structural mastery. Speculation linked its imagery to St. George, Catalonia's patron saint, vanquishing the dragon. The ground floor continued the surreal dreamscape. Irregular oval windows punctuated flowing stone walls, creating an expansive, fluid sensation. Yet beneath the organic fantasy lay profound functionality. Gaudí pioneered techniques here that architecture wouldn't widely embrace for another century. Tagged variously as Art Nouveau, Gothic Revival, Modernist, he slipped through categorical nets. A true innovator, he demonstrated an advanced grasp of structure, refining old forms with new techniques, new aesthetics. His designs pulsed with efficiency, dynamism, playful creativity, and a deep reverence for the natural world, never bowing to a singular style. Emerging from Casa Batlló, awe illuminated Ilara's face, inspiration kindling within her. The House of Bones transcended photographs, transcended descriptions. It felt like exploring a gingerbread house built by a sophisticated, slightly mad genius. As an artist, she resonated with its playful eccentricity fused with brilliant design intelligence. She lingered, etching its facade into her memory, before a light breeze tossed her short hair across her face. With a skip, she rejoined the group progressing up the avenue. Casa Milà awaited, an apartment building erected between 1906 and 1912. Its defining feature, a self-supporting stone facade, an innovation allowing for expansive windows, abundant natural light, and unprecedented interior flexibility. Its undulating, quarry-like appearance earned it the nickname La Pedrera, the stone quarry. In the early 1900s, Passeig de Gràcia was Barcelona's grand stage, lined with exclusive buildings commissioned by wealthy residents vying for architectural prestige. Gaudí delivered, crowning Casa Milà with a prominent, curving terrace and a rooftop populated by sculptural chimneys, some chiseled squares, others honeycombed, arabesque, functional ventilation shafts and stair exits transformed into art. Clad in recycled marble, lava, and ceramic fragments, function and fine art intertwined seamlessly. The design embraced perpetual curvature, inside and out. 2 buildings coiled around distinct courtyards, bathing 9 stories in light. The layout, an asymmetrical figure 8, defied uniformity, each courtyard unique in size and shape. Gaudí, ever evolving his own architectural language. From La Pedrera's terrace, a glimpse, the Sagrada Familia, their final destination. A palpable current of excitement ran through the group. Ilara recognized the basilica's unique pinnacles, distant landmarks since her arrival, yet their true scale remained an imminent revelation. The walk to the cathedral was longer, allowing the guide time for context. Construction commenced in 1882, she explained. Gaudí assumed control a year later, radically transforming the original neo-Gothic plans into his signature fusion of Gothic structure and curvilinear Art Nouveau flourish. He would devote his remaining 4 decades to this magnum opus, yet upon his death in 1926, less than a quarter stood complete. Progress, reliant on private donations, crawled. The Spanish Civil War brought interruption and destruction. Revolutionaries damaged the structure, shattering original plans and models. Nearly 15 years were spent painstakingly reconstructing the master model from fragments, delaying work until the 1950s. Gaudí, foreseeing he wouldn't witness completion, meticulously crafted models to ensure his vision endured. This foresight fueled the dedication to restore his plans after the war's desecration. His ambition to inscribe the entirety of Catholic history into stone and light. A perfect temple narrating the life of Jesus and the saga of faith. Decades later, the Sagrada Familia remained a work in progress, destined to be Barcelona's tallest structure, the world's highest church. They drew closer. The cathedral's breathtaking singularity sharpened as they entered the adjacent plaza. Ilara felt her skin prickle, her heart give a distinct lurch. She paused, drawing deep breaths to anchor herself. Years of anticipation culminated in this moment. She refused to rush it. Breathing in, breathing out, a silent gratitude flowed through her for this extraordinary pilgrimage. The guide's voice anchored them, interpreting the spectacle. 3 facades, 18 towers, each dedicated to a pivotal biblical figure. The spires and the nativity facade culminated in geometric, almost cubist forms, nodding to the artistic currents of 1930s Spain. An hourglass shape, recurring throughout, offered both structural integrity and visual harmony. Ilara found her gaze captivated by the soaring spires, intricately sculpted stone, ascending skyward like celestial aspirations, their pointed forms whimsically reminiscent of churros crowned with elaborate stone lacework. The exterior alone pulsed with personality. She yearned to discover the magic within. Crossing the threshold, Ilara stepped into a kaleidoscope. Sunlight streamed through immense stained glass windows, fracturing into myriad colors, bathing the colossal space in an ethereal glow. It was a sensory immersion, pure wonder. Turning, she saw the interior columns, vast stone trunks branching high overhead, transforming the nave into a petrified forest. Gaudí's metaphor for humanity, finding closeness to God amidst nature. The engineering required felt staggering. True to form, no flat surfaces, no straight lines existed here. Gaudí sculpted space itself. Columns morphed from square bases to octagons, then helicoids, resolving into circles near the vaulted ceiling. Geometric forms intersected, creating surfaces that shifted and changed with every step. Iron railings, stairways, ornamentation, all flowed with exuberant curves, creative flourishes bursting forth as if space itself had exploded into art. Elara moved slowly, deliberately, absorbing every detail, every spark of genius. It was utterly unlike anything she had ever witnessed, endlessly fascinating, profoundly inspiring. Here, Gaudí's lifetime of experimentation converged into a masterpiece, structurally sound, harmoniously proportioned, aesthetically transcendent. The immense craftsmanship, the seamless integration of organic forms, the sheer devotion poured into the project. It was palpable. She recalled his struggle, funding the work himself, persevering through war, vandalism, economic hardship, personal trials, dedicating the last 43 years of his life to this singular vision. Today, the Sagrada Familia stood not just as Barcelona's emblem, but a global icon, a testament to artistic vision and architectural prowess. Complex, innovative, utterly masterful. The guide gathered them for a final farewell, inviting them to linger, to truly savor Gaudí's magnum opus. Elara accepted the invitation without hesitation. She drifted back towards a stained glass window, watching light refract, colors dancing across the stone floor, dappling her skin. She wanted to absorb this feeling, let it deepen within her. Closing her eyes, she drew slow, full breaths, feeling the sun's warmth through the glass, striving for complete presence. A quiet gratitude welled up again for this perfect day, this mesmerizing sanctuary. If only, she thought, time could slow, allowing her to remain suspended in this place of wonder forever.